Everything in the world has its pros and cons. Everything has a front and a back. No matter how good it is, if you hold the blade side, you will suffer, and on the contrary. No matter how hostile it is, if you hold the handle, it can be a shield. In other words, many things that made you happy only by looking at their strengths will bring sadness later on. Everything has its pros and cons. It's wisdom to pick the best out of those things. This is why some people see countless lights on, while others see numerous lights off. So look only at the brightest lights and don't confuse good with bad. This is why some people are satisfied with everything and others are sad about everything. These observations are a great shield against hatred and an important rule of life useful for all ages and situations. Don't spend a single day of neglect in your life. Fate plays with us as if we enjoy it. And unnoticed, the biggest thing happens by accident. So always make your debut with brains, wisdom, courage, beauty. This is because a day full of trust without any worries could be a day when our reputation suddenly plummeted. When attention is needed the most, attention is necessarily lacking. Because not thinking means that we trip over our feet and mess things up. Also, antagonistic fate puts our integrity on a rigorous test sometimes when it is careless. Fate is to test our values by choosing me who was never expected. You must learn the art of choosing. Much of life depends on choice. To make a choice, you need good sense and good judgment. Knowledge or intelligence alone is not enough. Without choice, there is no completeness. Choice involves the ability to choose the best. Many people have a seasoned spirit, keen intellectual knowledge and discretion, yet fail in the process of choice. They grab the worst every time as if they were determined to commit an error. Knowing how to choose like that is one of the best talents heaven has ever given you, and you have to control your imagination. Imagination gives everything about happiness, sometimes checking and sometimes empowering, and even rules reason. Imagination can acquire the power of a tyrant, and it is not satisfied just by looking at it and is constantly moving. Imagination even captivates our existence. It fills our existence with joy or sorrow by making us realize our stupidity. Imagination makes us both satisfied and dissatisfied with ourselves, so to some people it feels like an exploiter who torments a fool, giving only pain. Some people feel heavenly joy or feel lucky enough to experience pleasant dizziness. Imagination can do all this if the protection of the opposite sex does not fence in and stop the imagination. You can become your master only when you know yourself correctly. Identify your temperament, spirit, judgment, and disposition. No one can be their master without grasping themselves first. There is a mirror that shows appearance, but there is no mirror that shows soul. So be sensible and think deeply about yourself. In any case, understand only the present, which is external and internal, so that you can improve yourself and become perfect. Your ability and discernment know your own delicacy. Test your courage before entering a deal. Find out how deep you are and measure your ability for everything. You must leave what you wish for. This is because after complete happiness, misfortune. The body tries to breathe and the mind tries to pursue. He who has everything will be dissatisfied with the disappointment of everything. Curiosity and hope arise only when something more needs to be known remains. It is a witty attitude to never fully satisfy even when praising. If there's nothing more to ask for, everything gets scary. What an unfortunate happiness this fear begins where hope stops. A once-in-a-lifetime life should be a pleasant journey. Life without rest is as tiring as a long journey that doesn't stop at the inn. Various knowledge makes life enjoyable. The first journey of a wonderful life begins with a conversation with the dead. We live to know ourselves and many things. Then a true book will make us human. The second trip is to spend time with the living and see and realize all the good things in the world. You can't find everything in a country. The creator of this world also shared his talents and sometimes added ugly things to the rich. Spend the third trip entirely with yourself. The last trip is to live in philosophy. In any case, think of the end if you walk through the front door of cheers and into the house of happiness. You will walk through the door of grief and come out again. The same is true of the same is true of the opposite is true. We will therefore have to consider the end ahead of time and be more mindful of a happy exit than of the applause when it emerges. It is the everyday destiny of the unhappy to start happily and then experience a very tragic ending. The vulgar applause when you appear is not important. It could happen to anyone. What matters is the public's feelings when they step down. This is because it is rare to be the object of someone's wishes, and only a few people are accompanied by luck to the exit threshold. Those who appear are treated politely, but those who exit are apt to be despised. Don't show my sick finger to others. If you show your sick finger to others, everyone will poke there. Don't complain that your finger hurts. This is because he who embraces a baby always touches the weak. Your anger only adds to your enemy's enjoyment and doesn't help. He who has bad intentions always hovers around in search of possible flaws. While beating with a whip, check where the sensitive area is and try thousands of times until the wound is found. A prudent man never shows his wounds and never reveals personal or innate misfortunes. Even fate sometimes takes pleasure in touching our most painful wounds. The beating of fate always seeks hurt. So don't show any pain or pleasure so that the pain is over and the pleasure continues. It is a special wisdom to keep away from the stupidity of ordinary people. Folly is powerful because it is widely accepted by the public. Many people can overwhelm an individual's stupidity but cannot avoid it. The general public's ideas are full of prejudice. They are not satisfied even if their fate is the best, and they are satisfied even if their sense is the worst. Moreover, everyone is not satisfied with their own happiness and is jealous of others' happiness. So people today praise what happened yesterday, and people here envy what happened there. Everything that has gone by looks better and everything that is far away is valued more highly. He who laughs for joy in everything is as great a fool as he who grieves in everything. Know that lowly people are everywhere. There are humble human beings in beautiful Corinths, fine families, and even in their own homes. Anyone can meet such a character. And there are some of the worst lowly human beings who are worse off. Just as pieces of a broken mirror still have mirror characteristics. These types of humans are similar in character to ordinary people, but their harm is greater. They criticize people by saying stupid things. They are the masters of ignorance, the patrons of stupidity, and the allies of gossip. Never mind what they say, never mind what they think, it's important to know them to avoid them. Because stupidity is all vulgar, and vulgarity consists of stupidity. A man of great discernment enjoys good luck. Honeybees go straight to sweets to get honey, and snakes look for bitter ones to make poison. As such, one's discernment seeks the very good, and one's discernment pays attention to the bad. There are always good things about everything. But many with unfortunate wit find a single flaw in the fine genes and blame it and say it's all rubbish thrown out by someone else's will and intelligence. In that way, they pile up defects one by one. This is not an achievement of their lucid senses. It's just the price of sin from the wrong choice. They lead sad lives, eating only bitter things all the time and using imperfections as a way to exploit them. Rather than this, the discernment of others, who choose perfection, which is unique among 1,000 flaws, brings even more happiness. You must never lose your composure. It is one of the important virtues of wisdom not to vent anger, and he who does not lose his composure is a big heart. Because anything big doesn't move well. Excitement is the sick house of the soul. Whenever emotions are so overwhelmed, wisdom becomes sick, and when evil emotions rise and are uttered out of the mouth, honor becomes dangerous. So you have to be your own master. Be big enough not to get excited about the greatest happiness and the greatest misfortune. No, bring out a first-rate wonder at the happiness and unhappiness. The courage of the mind exceeds the power of the body. Even a dead lion can pull out its mane. Don't make jokes when you muster up your courage. Once you give in, you have to give in the next time, and you end up giving in until the end.